Do you use questions in your headlines? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. And I'm giving away the topic today because we're talking about headlines once again. This is the 34th out of 35 proven formulas for writing headlines written by John Caples in his book Tested Advertising Methods. And we've gone through all of them except for two. Last two. So this is the first of the last two tonight, number 34. These are formulas you can use for writing headlines. And honestly, I don't have one of these that I have followed more often than this one. Okay, this is my favorite because it's simple and it does a very fancy trick in it. And that's all it says is number 34, have your headline ask a question. That's it. That's all you got to do. Have your headline ask a question. If you have it do that, there's something that happens in the mind. If there's a question being asked, a person has to read it and they have to consider it more than just a statement. Any headline can be a statement, but when you're asking a question, it causes the person to have to consider it to some extent. Now, it may not be something that they understand, and so they can gloss over it and move on. Just like a lot of people won't click on this video or this podcast episode or this blog post because it talks about headlines. And they're like, well, headlines, whatever, and they move on. But what it is attracting is it's going to attract a person who wants to know more about headlines. Okay, they are going to click on this, and you might be one of those people. That's why you're watching or listening or reading this, is because you're interested in, well, what's he mean by that? If nothing else, it doesn't mean they have an answer for the question. What matters is that they hear the question and they consider what the idea is behind the question. Okay. That causes interaction. That interaction leads to the next step. If you go back and you look at all the different videos that I've put out, all the different podcast episodes from this particular show, which is made to be clicked on, it's made to attract new people. They're almost all questions. I mean, it is the thing that I always fall back on, is using a question, because a question causes curiosity. A question causes a person to go, I wonder what that means. It just pulls in people like nobody's business. So if all else fails, if you use this one headline formula for writing your titles, for writing your email subject lines, for whatever, if you're looking to pull people in, ask a question. It's just that simple. And I could give you some of the examples he has here. What good are frequent flyer programs if the miles take off before you do? Would you believe the milk jug on the right is 45% lighter? Would you ever run out of trees? It's for a forest product company. Did you know you can give your dog perfect nutrition? You see, some are better, some are worse, but a question will always cause you to stop and think about what the question is and think about whether you have an answer or whether you dismiss it. Whereas a statement doesn't necessarily pull any curiosity whatsoever for you. It's just a statement. But questions are magical. There's something really magical about questions. I've seen it over and over again. If you've ever done any type of one-on-one sales, if you do a lot of one-on-one interaction with your customers, you'll know the power of questions if you've done enough of it. And if you haven't, you ought to pay more closer attention. There's some great books on it. Let me see if I can think of any off the top of my head, because I know I have quite a few. This one right off the top, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling by Frank Bettger. Awesome book. We've talked about this one before. One of his key points is asking questions. That's how he's done all his sales his entire life, is talked about asking questions. This isn't just a sales book. This is a communications book. Communications, so much of communications is based on the idea of causing interaction, and the only way you can really cause proper interaction is by asking questions. I mean, it could go on and on and on about the power of questions. But if you understand the power of questions in a headline, then you'll know how to pull a person into your world and how to get them to start thinking about what you want them to think about and do what you want them to do in the long run, which is what this whole process is all about. Any type of marketing, communications, business strategy, it's all about getting the customer, getting the patient, getting the whoever to do what you want them to do, and hopefully for their own good. Hopefully it's a good situation that you're leading them to. So that is number 34. Tomorrow, number 35, the final out of the entire selection of proven formulas for writing headlines. So come back tomorrow and we'll talk about that. In the meantime, you want to go and check out my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. You get your own free copy at amazonproofbook.com. You can check that out before we get back together. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.